Today I want to talk to you about something that's sitting in, well, every consignment shop in the United States right now. And if you're out there looking for a classic car, for sale, there's a real good chance you've already walked past one of these and had absolutely no idea. It's a flipper car dressed up as something that's been fully restored, or, the little old lady's grocery getter. Now, I'm not a dealer. I'm not a consignment shop owner. I'm a car guy like you guys are. And I've been looking at Mopar's parts and cars for a very, very long time. And my background's in finance, which helps me understand a little bit more the technical level of these kinds of things. Consignment shops, they're flooded right now. The one nearest me, they've run out of room. And, it's a lot of older guys unloading cars, but there's also a bunch of cars that are been owned for, like, I don't know, 4 months, 6 months, less than a year. And, they did a little bit of a cosmetic refresh on these things, put some fresh undercoating, maybe a fresh coat of paint, bolted on some chrome, just accessory chrome. And it's sitting out on that lot right now with a super stout price and a consignment fee right on top of that. And that lot gets paid whether that car is good or bad. That's the whole thing. They are just the middleman. They are the seller. They basically do buyer beware, because if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to pay dearly for someone else's shortcut, guaranteed. Now, I'm going to break this down into 4 categories because it's just easier that way. Because there are 4 tells, and if you miss the first 2, the paperwork, when you get to the paperwork part of it, that's a dead giveaway. Okay. So a real car owner, like somebody like me, most of you watching, you know what I mean? It's got history. You got receipts in a folder. You don't look at them, but you got them. It's not perfect. It has little blemishes on it because it does. You can see where the car's been used. It has the right paint color on it. Like my car is originally, even if it's tan, the fender tag matches the VIN. The options match the tag. Everything seems pretty normal, and it's worn normally as a car that's been restored for any amount of time. Now, a flipper car, this car looks way too perfect in photos, way too perfect. And it looks kind of strange in person. It usually has like fresh undercoat, fresh paint, hiding like kind of everything. Like it has brand new hardware, shiny stuff all over the car. But, the brackets haven't been blasted or powder coated. This is where you get to see when a bolt is cleaner than the actual bracket. That kind of makes you think twice. You get some cheap new chrome on the car, a carpet kind of thrown in there. I've seen this. But you will look under the wiring in the dash, it's original, untouched, or it has butt connectors there, or it has wire nuts. That's always a great thing to see there. The stuff in the photographs, that's the pretty stuff. It doesn't show you the details. And that's just one thing. Because this is where you ask yourself, hey, if somebody owned this car for 20 years, why would you just come in before you bring it to sell it? Why would you just put a $400 carpet over rusty floor pans and not fix the pans? I mean, if it was your car, wouldn't you want it fixed? This is flipper math. So here's where it gets interesting, because the consignment business model works like this. It's very simple. The shop doesn't own the car. Okay? They get a flat rate or a percentage whether you get a good car or a bad car. So when they write the beautiful description, believed mileage, believed original, reported numbers matching, they use these words because they believe to be. It's reported. It's not. That's not them staying behind them. That's saying, hey, the guy that brought the car to us, this is what they told us. You know what I mean? And here's the thing no one tells you when you're buying a classic car. from a consignment lot. The lot has zero incentive to dig. They have no reason to prove anything about that car, because if they dig too deep, they can find things like Bondo, things that are not structurally right, that, maybe somebody did something really naughty and did a restamp the VIN. The title has been changed, because they went to Vermont and got it washed, and that was done a few years ago. They won't sell that car because the person's going to go someplace else. So they don't find any more information on this. It's not their job. None of this ends up being too complicated. It's just stuff, guys, who've been digging for this for 30, 40 years. If you're observant, you do this automatically. And, it's not that you're like a final inspector, but you should be at this point. But you end up that you are, because you need to be. So let's get into it. Now, there's 3 paper checks. Very simple things. It's an hour, and it can save you a lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, 1, the title chain. This one is a little more difficult, but you can do this. You find out how long the previous owner owned the car. If you pull the title history and you see it has 2 or 3 owners in 12 to 18 months, that's not a good sign. That's a pretty bad sign. That's a flipper flag. A real long-term owner has like a title, maybe 2, 10 years, 20 years, like me, 30 years. And a flipper has a short chain and a story like, I bought the car for my wife and she didn't like it, right? 2, the date codes versus build codes. Now, this one's a little, not all the time, but it's like on a Chrysler. If you look on the fender tag, it'll tell you when the car was built. Like my car says June of 72 or June 6th, but it was June is the next year, it'd be 72. So, a lot of times you can look, and if you see the flat, if you look and see the engine build number, say, let you get a real good look, and it has a stamp, it's a 1970 car, but the engine reads 1978, that's a flag right there. Because then that's not even a warranty block. That's somebody just shoving an engine in the car. And 3, this one's hard to do. I doubt you'll be able to get it done. But try. If you're spending a lot of cash, I'd want to do this. Make a phone call. Ask the consignment shop if you can get in contact with the previous owner. Now, if they get really weird about it, I would almost say that that's not a good sign. But then if you do get a hold of them and they ask you, why did you decide to sell this car after 5 months? Now, you can learn a lot in that 30-second phone call, because that's all it's going to last, more than you can even do in 30 phone calls. And that is just a category. That's just paperwork. You still got to walk around the car. I'm going to use my car as something to make things easier. If this is saving you a headache, or it's going to save someone a headache, and I actually have friends that are either working on someone's car or bought a car that have a lot of these warning signs. So if it helps you out or helps someone else out, hit that like button below, please. If you're getting a little more of it, hit subscribe. Do this. Make sure you send it to somebody looking at a car before they actually go wire that money to the consignment shop or write that check. Hey, and drop in the comments below if when you run into a flipper, on a car lot, what have you noticed? I generally want to know. Okay, so we're going to do a walk around on my car. Now I'm going to show you in my garage a normal car. My car has issues, and I'll even point them out. So we're going to go first. We're going to go down and look at the rockers on this car. All right. My undercoating's been on there for 30 years. You can see it. It actually looks kind of worn. It's not shiny and black. Tap on the metal. It should sound pretty solid. There should be no thud, because that is plastic. Also, bring a kitchen magnet with you, because if somebody is filled the car with Bondo, that kitchen magnet will not stick to the side of the car. We're going to see here, I'm sticking a magnet to the side of my car. There's no Bondo in there. It's steel. Then check the rubber. Check all the door seals. And if they have all new rubber on the car, but like the chrome looks like garbage, that's usually a question mark. And then if you see overspray on the rubber, that's a bigger question mark. If there's overspray on wiring, yeah, now you get a little concerned, because the factory didn't paint wiring. There was no wiring that got painted. And usually on a good restoration, there's no wiring getting painted. That's a flipper paint job. It's sloppy. It's just sloppy enough to notice if you look hard enough. Now pop the trunk. We'll pop in my trunk. Lift the mat. There should be a spare tire in there. I see a lot of cars with no spare tires. That's usually a bad sign. And I've picked up trunk mats, and you look down here at this, and the car was 35 grand, and it's like Swiss cheese. That is usually not a good thing you want to see in a listing, or in a car you want to buy. It's kind of like when a doctor's taking your blood pressure. The car is talking to you constantly, and you just have to listen, right? Let's bring this all together, because this is where we're gonna set it all so you know what to do. If a guy owned it for 6 months, did the pretty stuff, then put it on consignment, for the inflated price, you're not buying a great classic car. You're buying a profit margin, and I really mean that. Here's the thing. A good consignment lot will have good cars. I mean, I'm not saying everything they have there is junk. I actually had a friend that sold a real V-code Challenger that was very well done on a consignment lot. It can be done. They are there. The flipper ones, they come with, they don't come with that whole history with them. They come with a really flimsy story and just some sort of paperwork with the car. Nothing really tangible. Now, don't get burned, and I've known people that have done this, and that 300G is a good one. Don't get burned just because the photos look good. Photos are cheap. Paper is not. And you know what I mean by that. Now, drop in a comment below, what is the biggest flipper you've ever spotted on a car? Like the biggest flipper detail. I read every comment, I do. I get backlogged, but I'll read them. And if you got a buddy with a classic car, or a buddy who's looking to buy a classic car right now, send this video to them, share it. This could save them like an entire weekend, maybe a month, and tens of thousands of dollars. So please share this with somebody looking for a car. And, if you have something cool, take it out, because you'll make someone's day, and it will be your own. I'll see you in the next one, and I'll see you Wednesday night. I always have my live, and we talk about current events and current news for car guys. And then we'll go through some of these comments together. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.